Yo, 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 what up? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. How we doing? Are we live? That's a great question. I don't know. I actually have a chat today, though, which is nice. We're going to wait a minute just to see what's up, because on my side screen here, it says we're not live yet. There we go, and now we're live, I think. People might still be watching ads. So if you're watching this on a replay, this is going to be really funny. People are like, this guy is just rambling. He doesn't know what the heck's going on. Welcome in, though, if you're hanging out with us. Give me 2 seconds, because I think I gotta wait through my own ads. Doesn't that suck? YouTube sucks, man. No, I'm just kidding. I love YouTube. This is great stuff. Welcome in, though. We're still figuring out how to do a title screen. I have not had time to do that. There are 3 ads before you go on into a video nowadays. That's insane. Hi, hello, everyone's rolling in. What's up, everybody? We're celebrating today a little bit because Scream 7 has wrapped filming? Question mark? According to Production Weekly, it has, but we're hearing reports that they're still shooting some stuff. So what the hell is going on now? I don't know. We do have some really exciting things as well to talk about. There's an interview with Scott Foley talking a little bit about his role here in Scream 7, which has me scratching my head. But I'm sure we'll get into that in a second. And just a lot of exciting, weird movie news to talk about that came out today. We have a new Starship Troopers movie in the works, which, like, I don't know if I've really talked about it much on this page before, but, like, if we're talking top 10 movies of all time, Starship Troopers from Paul Verhoeven is one of my all-time favorites. It is a top 10 movie of all time for me personally. I love it. It's so good. It is, I think, truly one of the most misunderstood sci-fi flicks out there, and it's one of my favorites. But besides that, a lot of fun news to talk about, even outside of the realm of Scream. So let's get into it. What do we want to talk about? Well, welcome in, everybody. Welcome. And we also have, I'm gonna set this up because I forgot. I'll go for another hour if we get 10 super chats. Bam. I'll go for another hour. That's really ominous. What do you mean by that, Jake? What do you mean you're going to go for another hour? What are you going to do there? We already have Lighting Ghost throwing $2 in there. Thank you. Saying saw Borderline and Novocaine and enjoyed both. I should have reviewed one of those today instead of Opus. You guys did not care about that review. Fun fact. But I'm glad you enjoyed both of those. Very nice. I'm going to watch Borderline tonight. I did not have time. I fell asleep. I took a little nap, and I should have. I probably should have watched that. I was going to watch it and get a review video out for Patreon for Borderline. It's a new Samara Weaving and Ray Nicholson movie, which I'm really excited to see. So that's hype as fuck to me. I'm glad you liked it. Glad you liked both of those. Novocaine I want to see too. It's Jack Quaid in a leading role, which is unfortunately doesn't happen too often, which I think is a shame. He's usually just a side character in a lot of the movies he's been in, but now he's a leading man in a movie that looks really fun. It looks like a fun little action adventure, and it's big question mark behind this superhero movie. Maybe, I don't know. I'm getting like slight superhero vibes from it. I think it's just reminding me a lot of Kick-Ass. If you guys remember Kick-Ass or not, that was a fun movie. I really like that one and the sequel. But I'm excited to see both of those as well. Lighting Ghost, definitely gonna have to check them out soon. But I reviewed the movie that no one cares about this weekend, Opus, baby. Let's go. Yeah, check that video out if you even remotely care. Maybe not, but that's okay. Lighting Ghost, thank you for the $2. I appreciate that a ton. We also got Coop here saying, really hope they end up reusing the OG plot for 7 with Leslie Mocker being involved. Only way Stu being important to the narrative, that makes sense. But what about everybody else, Coop? Because that's my question. What is everyone else doing here? I don't know. You're also throwing out there that people are freaking out over Scott and David filming on the same day. They were most likely doing the deepfake video recordings all in the same day. What is up with that? I don't, my thing, and a lot of people are throwing this out there, is they're like, well, I think there's going to be like deep fake video messages sent to Sydney. And I just think that's going to read as very goofy to me. I don't know if I love the idea of deep fake videos being utilized. AI voices could make sense because Scream has always used the phone call. You know what I mean? That has always been something that's a big part of this series. I think that could work for me, but I'm like, I don't sending her video messages. That just that I don't know. It sounds just like that's not going to read well on screen. I don't know if that's going to work. I could like AI commentary with a voice changer, you know, like something like an upgraded version of what Roman was using in Scream 3. Rock on. Like, okay, that can work. Phone calls always been a big part of this franchise. So that's cool. I really hope it's not. I hope it's not that. I don't know. Deepfake. I think that's just. That's gonna be laughable to me. I don't know if that's gonna work. It's like, I'm coming to get you, Sydney, but it's like just a video on her phone. Like, it's like, okay, dickhead. I'm just gonna close the video and then that's it. It's way scarier if it's someone on the phone saying, I'm at your house, I'm gonna kill you or something, you know? Like that could be something. That's just me though. Variety called me a pariah. I don't even know what a pariah is saying, did you hear David and Scott filmed the same day? Some think Dewey was a responding officer to Marine's murder, so maybe we'll get a Halloween Kills type opening or unwittingly interact during it. They're okay. I hear you on that. Like they have a momentary conversation or something, and he's just like, I'm just a passerby, and Roman pieces out of there, and it's like he's running. He's still got the robe on. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I'll be honest. I wasn't gonna make a video this weekend. I was kind of. It's been a crazy week, so I was kind of looking to get some rest in. But now I'm thinking about making a video about this because that Scott interview was odd. He's talking about, he's like, I don't know if this is gonna work or not, you know. And I was hanging out with Nev and David, and I'm just like, what? Like what so his interview that he had recently talking about Scream 7, he just doesn't sound like he has a whole lot of confidence in this. Once again, people are asking him questions about everything going on in this, and it just doesn't seem like he has a direct answer. And I get it, like maybe he's just trying to hide everything going on. Maybe that's the case, right? But I'm also worried that maybe he just doesn't know what the fuck he shot. Like, we shot something and it's gonna be in the movie somehow. I don't know how it's all gonna add up. And that makes me upsetty spaghetti. You're asking me to please stop cursing, random person who has just entered the chat, and yet we're talking about horror movies and killing people. So you're fine with me talking about that, but I can't say a four-letter word that starts with F. I don't understand that. That makes literally no sense to me. No offense. Welcome to the community, though. We curse here. I'm so sorry. That's not going to change anytime soon. Lighting Ghost is saying, I saw your review, Jake, today. Don't worry. Lighting Ghost, you got my back every single time, my friend. I appreciate that a ton. Thank you. Yeah, you know, I probably should have reviewed Borderline, but it is not showing in theaters anywhere near me, which is such a bummer. And Novocaine isn't necessarily a horror movie, so I was kind of like, I don't know if I should review this one. I should have just done it. I should have just balls deep went into Novocaine. That sounds so gross. I wonder if Ethan's going to be offended by that. If I said I'm going balls deep into Jack Quaid, let's let's find out. Maybe they're still hanging with us, or maybe they're offended by swear words still. Anyways, Ghostface95 is saying, I can't see Mark being the killer. I think Ghostface will be Anna Camp, Sam Reckner, and maybe Michelle Randolph. I definitely agree with Anna Camp. I feel like Sam Reckner's a red herring. I remember, and again, Ghostface95, this was just a very dull rumor, so who knows what's up with this one. But I was hearing that Sam Reckner's character was described as a red herring. Like, just the way that it read to me sounded like, okay, this is red herring material. He's got like a Ted Bundy vibe. I remember is the language that was used to describe his character. Maybe that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, a lot of people are saying that what is it, that Sydney's daughter's name is going to be Tatum. I feel like that's really cheesy. I don't think they're actually going to call her Tatum. That, I don't know. Like, I get it, you named her after your best friend who died when you were young, but it's just like, that feels like a stretch to me. I don't know if I would name my daughter that and then constantly be reminded of my friend who was viciously killed when we were like 17, 18. I don't know. I don't think I buy that rumor. I feel like some of the characters are going to have different names when we actually get down to it. But I do, anyways, wow, focus, Jake, Jesus Christ. Ghostface95, Anna Camp I see being our killer. I just feel like it's one of the killers, maybe the lead killer, is going to be someone who's yet again a dark reflection of Sydney. I'm feeling a lot of, not redundancies with Scream 7 here, but I could totally see it having some similarities to both Screams 3 and 4. And Anna Camp being our killer, I could be like almost like a surrogate Roman in a sense, because, you know, the whole film, the whole film of Scream 3 is making you think that, oh, maybe it's the character the actress who's playing Sydney in Scream 3 is our killer this time around. And I think there's even a conversation earlier on that uses that exact same vernacular, dark reflection. And then it gets you in the mindset of, oh, it's going to be her. And then it's Roman. And the dark reflection part is actually the fact that it's her secret brother. So I don't know. I feel like it could be Anna Camp because she also seems to be a motherly figure, perhaps maybe a Karen who lives in the neighborhood. And that could be some pretty excellent, kind of suspicious material who maybe she ends up being the killer for one reason or the other. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Leslie Mocker. I don't think that's necessary at all. Again, I'm really looking for Scream to just tell some fresh stories. I love how Evil Dead does that so well in each entry. It's just like, here's the Book of the Dead is just going to show up somewhere, and here's a new group of characters from a brand new director, and we're going to tell a new story with all of this. It makes every entry of Evil Dead so fresh. I love the Sam Raimi trilogy. They're all so fun. But a big reason for that and why all of those movies are so fresh is they all have a very different tone than the last. I mean, Army of Darkness isn't even a horror movie. That is that's a straight up comedy, and it is fucking fantastic for what it is. Evil Dead 2, it's a horror comedy. It's almost it's like the Scary Movie version of the original Evil Dead, and I love it. It's great. And the original Evil Dead is fucking terrifying. It's awesome. So for me, I hope that at one point Scream can just forget about the past, stop being so obsessed with that original movie, and just tell great stories here in the present. That's all they need to do. And they don't need to constantly be reminding us of the original Scream and how great that one is. I hope that the whole time we're not thinking about, man, I'd rather be watching Scream 1 than this movie I'm watching right now that I'm paying money to see in the theaters. Let's hope that's not the case. I'm trying not to be pessimistic with this movie. I am trying to be a little more excited for this one, but it does scare me a little bit. It scares me a bit. Just a lot of weird. It's a mixed bag, Scream 7 at this point in time. A lot of announcements that I'm not sure how to feel about them. Lightning Ghost is throwing another $2 out there, though. Lightning Ghost, thank you again for your support, man. You're killing it. MVP of the stream so far. Ray Nicholson was in both movies, which is funny. No way, really? Oh my, he's in, I didn't know he was in Novocaine. Lightning Ghost. That's exciting. I know that he's in Borderline. I was actually I was gonna rent it. Again, I fell asleep. But I'm gonna watch Borderline tonight, and I'm gonna have a Patreon video out for it tomorrow, so which is gonna be fun. But Ray Nicholson, I did not know he was in Novocaine. Interestingly enough, Amber Midthunder also has 2 movies that released this weekend as well, which is Novocaine and that Opus flick that I got to see, which I'm like, that's so weird. There's 2 actors that have multiple movies out this weekend. What a quinky dink. So weird. That's very odd, but I love it. Lighting Ghost, thank you for the 2. Appreciate you again, my friend. Mr. Ghostface 05 is saying Anna Camp for Ghostface. I sold on Anna Camp. Wow, that was a burp. I'm really worried that I'm really worried that Scream 7 is going to be too repetitive. That's a big thing that I've talked about a bit. Mr. Ghostface 05. I really think they're going to try, though. I can't imagine Scream 7 doesn't try to do something different, right? I could totally see the relationship be between our ghost faces, I should say, be the first time we ever see 2 female killers become Ghostface. Because again, we're talking about Scream 7. We're not talking about Scream 2 or Scream 3. This is Scream 7. We have to do something that's just totally different, right? Why make a new sequel if you're not going to do something that's a fresh new take on something? Eventually, you're just going to be repeating and repeating and looping and looping and looping, and we don't want that. I'd rather just watch the same movie again at that point. But Anna Camp Ghostface, and I also love the idea of McKenna Grace potentially being Ghostface. Maybe someone who's not necessarily her daughter, but maybe like a character who is working with Anna Camp for whatever reason. Also wants to kill, maybe Anna Camp wants to kill Sydney, where McKenna Grace wants to kill Sydney's daughter, right? I feel like that makes sense to me. That could be fun, and that's why these 2 characters end up teaming up and trying to kill both of them. And then you have a movie that is centered on Sydney and her daughter. So, the focus of the emotional core of this from our protagonists is all about, Sydney's relationship with her daughter, yada, yada. And then the Ghostface relationship is also something similar. It's a mother and a daughter, but also not really, right? I could see that really working well in terms of, thematics, semantics, a bunch of icks like that. something like that could really work for me. That would be fun. Would be really fun. Erica, thank you for the 5. What is up, my friend? Saying, remember to hit the like button or someone will steal your teeth while you sleep. The Tooth Fairy is not kind, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. She does not leave money. That is a myth. She just punches you right in the face and she will show up. Erica is the Tooth Fairy, just to reveal some identities here. You will lose your teeth. She will knock them out in the middle of the night if you don't like the stream. That's so intense for something that kind of doesn't really matter. But you know what, Erica? I love your intensity regardless. Thank you. I'm putting words in her mouth at this point. Thank you for the 5, Erica. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you for beating all the people up who come into the stream and don't like payment in teeth. I love that. I love that. Oh my God. If there's a Tooth Fairy horror movie, that would be like the best tagline for it. Payment in teeth. Tooth Fairy XL. Why XL? Tooth Fairy, Death Fairy punches out the teeth, takes the money. That's a Deadpool quote. But anyways, I love it. I love it. Thank you for the 5, Erica. Appreciate that. Coop is saying, you guys are clearly wrong. Anna Camp isn't the Ghostface. It's obvious they are finally doing the Sydney as Ghostface movie. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Billy Boy is saying Scream X Ghostface in space. It's coming. Listen, we're 3 movies away. We're 7, 8, 9. Ghost space. In space. No one can hear you stab. We got Ray hanging out with us. What's up, Ray? Yo, yo, yo. I want to try to say hi to everybody because I have not done that yet. Antonis, what's up? Hey, Jake, what's up, bro? What up, fella? How you doing, Antonis? How you doing? How you doing? Paula Fitzhenry is saying, question, now that post has officially begun, who do you want to see on the soundtrack? And do you think Marco Beltrami will do the score? That's a really good question, Paula. You know, again, I don't know if they're going to be, I don't know if they're going to 100% hit on that traditional 90s feel, for Scream 7. I think it's something that they're trying to do, though. I definitely feel like that's something they're trying to come back to with this one. I could totally see them utilizing Marco Beltrami for that exactly. Coming up with a new score and giving it something that has a traditional feel in terms of Scream. And I think, you know, I really think that's the big thing that they're trying to capture. More than anything with Scream 7 is just the vibe of those original films. I think that's what a lot of people want, and why a lot of people did not like 5 and 6. They did not feel so much so like the original couple of movies, and I think more or less like people just want that vibe back. I don't even think like we have so many people who are like, oh, Scream isn't the same without Sydney as the lead. I honestly think that if we were to do a movie that felt feel, tone, vibe, whatever, just like the original movies with brand new characters, I think honest to God, the traditional Scream fans would be all about that. If it had like Marco Beltrami doing the score, Kevin Williamson writing, let's just say we're in fantasy land for a second here, and let's say Wes Craven could also direct this mysterious flick. Rest in peace, master of horror, love him. But I really think that if they were to do Scream with brand new characters like that, and it had the vibe, it had the tone of those original Scream movies approached the same way, I think people would dig it. I think that's what people are really looking for here with Scream 7. And I think a lot of people are going to like it because I really think they're if they achieve nothing else with Scream 7, I think they could absolutely do that. So yes, I definitely see Marco Beltrami doing it. I don't hate Brian Tyler, honestly. I think my least favorite score for a Scream film is Scream 5. It's not that it's bad, it's just it's too atmospheric. It feels too generic. But he did step up his game in Scream 6, admittedly. Honestly, Scream 6, it's up there in terms of score. Not my favorite from the franchise. You don't beat Marco. Come on now. Marco's he's legendary in terms of composing scores. But I definitely did not hate Brian Tyler's work on Scream 6. I liked it way more than 5. Definitely a big step up. Melodies that actually stick in your head after you're done watching it. And I just did not feel that way after Scream 5, which definitely was a negative. Definitely was a negative for that flick. Easily my least favorite score from the series. But I hope that Marco is able to do 7. That would be fun. And again, no diss towards Brian Tyler, but Marco's a legend here. Come on now. What else is going on? I know Antonis is saying, I know you're excited for Lilo and Stitch 2025. So my question is, did you see the full trailer that came out a couple of days ago? I did. I thought it was so cute. My most anticipated family movie. I love that, Antonis. I love that. We're very excited for that one. Madison is a huge fan of Lilo and Stitch, so she's excited to see this one. I have mixed feelings about why Disney does the live action reboots. But I actually, and not to get into the weeds of it, but I actually do like that in some cases they try to do things differently and give me a reason to see the same movie again, right? Hopefully Lilo and Stitch can find that same energy. I have yet to be impressed by one of these, though, admittedly. I think Aladdin is the closest I've gotten to actually liking one of the live action remakes that they've made in the last couple of years. But even then, I'm just like, the original is superior in pretty much every facet. But I'm going to see this one. Hopefully it's fun. And yeah, I mean, honestly, the trailers have been promising. I'm with you on that one. It's coming from, I guess, a series. It's coming from a series that has not had a lot of great entries. I think it's why a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in the Dark Universe reimagining of Universal monsters, because the majority of them have been bad. But Invisible Man was fucking awesome in 2020. It's one of those things where it's like one of them was so good, but the rest of them are like kind of garbage, and it's such a shame. So it's a weird thing. It's definitely a weird thing, but I am still excited for it. Lilo and Stitch, it's so fun. It's a goofy movie, and it's got some great. It's not a Goofy movie. That's a different Disney property, isn't it? Lilo and Stitch, though, it's great. I love it. It's definitely up there in terms of kids' movies for me, and I hope they do it justice. Chris Nichols is saying, "Hey Jake, I saw The Monkey last Saturday. Did you think the adult actor playing the twins looks just like Roman Bridger?" He does look like Roman Bridger, Chris Nichols. Oh my God, he totally does. Theo James, right? That's the actor who plays both of them. He was great. I love The Monkey. That's one of my favorite horror films of the year so far. That's like that. I think that's number 2. If I had to rank all the movies I've seen this year, The Monkey is currently number 2 on my list. I've only seen like 11 movies this year, so I really gotta fix that. There's like 2 new movies that just came out that I'm dying to see, and I gotta see more. But I loved The Monkey, dude. Had a very good time with that one. I could totally see Theo James playing like a Roman Bridger from 2000 or something. Wouldn't that be kind of fun? I'd be so into that. What else is going on? We got Shot by Shot hanging out with us. Yo, Jovan Dudley. I love the name. What's up, fella? How's it going? Billy Boy, Bubble Butt Billy. Psycho Killer by Talking Heads better be in this film. Ooh, great choice for the soundtrack. Hoping for a good soundtrack for Scream 7. Totally agree with you on that one. Any updates for the It prequel? It got delayed. I don't think it's coming out this year anymore, which is a big bummer. But I am excited to see it nonetheless. Take your time. Make it good. Make it good! Don't make it suck. And Silver Princess is throwing 5 out there. So sorry it took me so long to get to that one. I just saw a few things that I got excited about. Silver Princess, though, our resident Roman fan, is saying the fact that Nev, Isabel, and Joel were the last ones filming means either Isabel or Joel are the killers. Also, Roman is the strongest ghost face. Yeah, you know what? Thank you for the reminder. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Silver. But yeah, so Isabel, May, or Joel, were kind of the last. You said they're kind of like the last ones filming, huh? I could see them making it towards the end, though. Maybe it's a family affair trying to fight off Ghostface this time around. Something else I was thinking about recently is when all of this madness started, when Scream 7 got announced. No, actually a little after Scream 7 got announced. Sidney Prescott is announced. She's coming back, and she's leading this new movie. What I was saying, like what was going through my head at the time is I'm thinking, okay, so, Scream 6 was a big success, but we just cleaned house because of a bunch of bullshit. So here's my thoughts on that. I think not only did they, beg Nev to come back, essentially, they drove the money truck back up to her door and they're like, we're so sorry we didn't give you money for Scream 6. Please be in this next one so we can continue our flagship series. I also think that now they're directing the audience to Scream towards like families, essentially people who grew up with Scream and are gonna like essentially take their kids to see the new one. I think that's what they're doing here. The more I think about Scream 7, the more I'm like, they're trying to make these like family horror movies because kids are really into horror, especially these days. I mean, the kids have always been into horror. Don't let the media tell you otherwise. But kids, it's even more accessible nowadays, right? There's so many horror video games, for instance, that are directed towards kids. Five Nights at Freddy's is an unbelievably popular IP. There are people on here that I'm sure you know the names of that have built entire careers surrounded around this IP. And same with Scream, because it is a little more, it's a little more friendly to a younger audience than just older people, like something like let's say Evil Dead, for instance. So I honestly feel like the family is going to make it through this movie. As much as I would like Joel McHale to die in this movie, because you guys know my thoughts on him being Sydney's husband, I feel like the family is probably going to make it through this one. As much as I don't know how I feel about that, as much as I'm like, it feels very corporate to me. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, the family is going to fight and take down Ghostface here. We might even do another situation where it's a family of Ghostfaces, just like in Scream 6. I'm actually thinking about my next video talking about how I think that Scream 7 is going to be just like Scream 6. And I don't think people are going to like that video, but it's an observation I'm making the more I think about this one. And the more I'm really thinking about, what's the target audience? What's the, what are we doing to make Scream 7 appealable to as many people as possible? Because that is definitely something that's going through Spyglass's brain right now, after so many people have called the studio spy ass many times online for what they did to Melissa Barrera. So I'm thinking it's going to be family of Ghostface versus family of Prescott's, and we'll see. That's an early prediction. Maybe I'm totally wrong, and honestly, I hope I am. But I guess I'm trying to think like how they all of them are thinking. But we'll see. Silver Princess, though, thank you for the 5. And yes, Roman is the strongest Ghostface by default. Come on now. You can't argue with that. 9 kills, right? 9 kills, technically? He blew up a fucking house. I mean, that's pretty cool. David Coca is with us saying, sorry I'm late, haven't caught a live in a few weeks. Been busy with work. It's all good. I understand that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hayden Herbert is saying, any news on the Dead by Daylight movie? Not a ton since the first couple of trailers dropped or whatever. They kind of put that out there, and now it's coming out next month. We should be getting, I don't understand why movies are marketing the way that they are like this nowadays. Like they'll I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm missing something here, but a lot of movies nowadays, they're dropping trailers for things and getting people all excited, and then they do absolutely nothing for this elongated period of time, and then like a week before the movie comes out, they just start going nuts again, like just bam 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 bam, a whole bunch of shit. So I imagine that's probably what's going to happen with Dead by Daylight. Same thing with pretty much everything else here, which is odd to me, right? I would almost think it would make more sense to, like, a month before a movie comes out, just start marketing the fuck out of it, and then just keep that energy up until the flick comes out. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe the science probably says otherwise, which is why so many movies market that way. But I just feel like people forget. Like, honest to God, I haven't even thought about the Dead by Daylight movie. I mean, I have that on the brain. The Until Dawn movie, I haven't really even thought about that since I made that big video talking about the trailer. So I don't know. That's a great question. Genuinely a great question there. Really making me rethink something I was going to do next week. Anyways, Erica is saying Jake only needs 8 more teal super chats. Actually, I only need 7. How about them apples? Zork the Dark One, thank you for the 5, my friend. Your presence is always welcome here. Thoughts on the idea of a movie where Sydney is blacking out, losing time, and waking up at the murders, only to be revealed someone is drugging her? So someone's not only killing a bunch of her friends and people around her, but drugging her and bringing her to the scene of the crime, essentially making her think that she's gone Ghostface and has lost her mind. That is like some 7 shit, bro. I kind of love that. That's really interesting. That actually might even work in Scream, because you do typically have like 2 people doing all of this. And the last couple of movies, which I think is really interesting, Screams 4 and 5 especially, we typically only have like one person actually doing the killings and then like another person kind of just dictating everything, right? Like you have like Jill is kind of just making Charlie, who is definitely her bitch, just kind of do everything for her. And then it's kind of the reverse situation in Scream 5, where Richie's just kind of straw bossing the whole thing. He's putting his feet up, watching some stab movies and eating Pizza Hut. And Amber's out here doing all the work. It makes you question what was the dynamic there. What was really happening with all that? So could you have a Ghostface dynamic where one person is doing all the killings and the other is just absolutely psychologically fucking with Sydney's mind? That could be interesting. And I feel like, Zork, maybe not exactly what you're talking about is going to happen here in Scream 7, but something along those lines could. Like, we've been talking about AI utilized phone calls. Ghostface is using AI to psychologically torment Sydney, which is so messed up. Oh my God. That could be fun. Fucked up, but fun. So I'm all about that. I could totally see something along those lines happening. Maybe different ghost faces have different roles in the operation to just mentally break down Sidney Prescott. That's messed up. And again, taking the whole trauma thing to a brand new level, or at least maybe even not a brand new level, but just a new thing to torture Sidney. Every ghost that's another thing, man. When you have new killers, like when you have a franchise like this, where it's all about having a brand new killer with every single movie, I say approach it differently every single time. Why would different ghost faces do the exact same thing every single time? You know what I mean? Like if I'm okay, put yourself into the shoes of a ghost face killer. If you're like, okay, 6 different groups of people have tried to do this before. Why have they failed? You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna go Ghostface, I'm gonna have a psychotic break and just start, going crazy like that. I'm gonna start taking notes on why everyone else failed in the past before and do things differently. It doesn't mean that whatever my insane plan is going to be will work, but it will definitely be different because the plans that were utilized before did not work. Einstein defines insanity as doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. But then again, these characters are insane, aren't they? So maybe we just defeated our own argument there. but I don't know. To me, I think it's way more interesting to see Ghostface's attempt to do different things and see what happens, see what comes from it. So I'm really hoping that Scream 7 dives into some of that territory, but we'll see. We'll see about that. Zork, love the idea though. I love the creativity. And that's something that Scream 7 needs in its wheelhouse without a doubt. So thank you for the 5. Appreciate that. I hope we don't just get the same movie again. Pirate X is saying, I got a leak from Scream 7. I do too, but don't be saying it. Don't be saying it though now. Yeah, if you're going to say it though, like I'm a block you, bro. Let me read that. Okay, well, I know that's not true. But anyways, I just don't like people. I'm going to put you in timeout, my friend. I'm so sorry. I'm going to put you in timeout for 5 minutes. I don't like people coming into the chat and saying that, I know spoilers about Scream 5, so don't do that. So sorry, but you're in timeout. And hopefully when you come out of timeout, you won't be pretending to spoil the movie because that's no fun. We don't do that here. William Tucker is saying some of you might have thoughts about this. What if Sid was the mastermind and she kept betraying the other killers? I just don't see Sidney going Ghostface. I feel like that would kind of go against a lot of the fun things that the series has going on. I like Sidney as a protagonist. I like rooting for her. I don't want to see her go on a downfall. Maybe Sam Carpenter. Sam Carpenter, I think would have been fun to see have a dark side, kind of go Anakin Skywalker on us, but this I don't know about. Jacob Wells is saying, hey Jake, it's Jacob Wells. What's up, Jacob Wells? I heard that Scott Foley announced that he is 100% playing Roman from Scream 3 and he is alive. I'm so confused about this. If done, check. I'm fine, but if not, then I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, that Scott Foley interview just made everything way more confusing. Maybe that was the point. You know what I mean? Maybe that was the point of it, to be like, I don't even know what was going on. Maybe he just wanted to make things more confusing. But just the way that he said it really did not give me a whole lot of confidence behind what he was saying. He's like, yeah, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm back for Scream 7 base. I'm paraphrasing, but it just, I don't know. The way he was talking about it was just like, I don't even think he knows what's happening in this movie. So wild shit. Justin, I absolutely love this comment right here. If Starship Troopers is in your top 10, where does RoboCop and Total Recall fall? Because they are far superior films from Verhoeven. I can't even disagree with that, Justin, because I am such a big Paul Verhoeven fan. He has a ton of excellent movies, and you're naming like the 3 best ones, at least in my opinion. Those are all some of my favorites. I just think Starship Troopers is crazy underappreciated because, at least in my opinion, I think that it's when you know the behind the scenes story of it, it makes it way more interesting. And it's such a rebellious film in a weird way. I also think it's one of the most misleading movies of all time. Like it is making you think that one thing is happening when you actually like step away from it and think about it, you're like, oh, that doesn't make any sense at all, and I shouldn't be rooting for those guys. And that's fucking brilliant. So I love Starship Troopers. I don't know. I think that, yes, on, RoboCop and Total Recall are masterpieces. Not going to disagree with you there. And I love them to death. I just think Starship Troopers doesn't get its flowers at all. I feel like people do not realize why that movie is just so genuinely excellent. And that's what I don't know. I think for whatever reason, that's why why I dig it so much. I think Total Recall and RoboCop were both movies that like I got immediately too. Like I think I came off of them and I'm like, that was so cool, that was so thought provoking. But Starship Troopers was one I saw when I was young, and I'm like, oh cool, you know, we're rooting for these fascists. You know, these are good people. They're not. They are not. And there's so much proof of that hidden in the movie. It's so subtle. Where something like Total Recall and RoboCop aren't. And that's not a diss. That's not a dig at those films. I think I just, in terms of personal preference, there's something about Starship Troopers that I think is just kind of brilliant for taking a just totally different route with it, the not as beaten path, right? So I think that's why I have a lot of respect for that one. And again, not to say that I don't have respect for RoboCop and Total Recall. I own both of those. I have the 4Ks of them on my shelf, and I watch them all the time. They're fucking great, and they're so much fun. But I just love the secret commentary of Starship Troopers that really is very easy to miss, and I love it. I don't know. I think it's great. It's a sassy film. It's got an attitude, and as you guys know, I like movies like that. What else is going on though? But great question, my friend. Great question, Justin, because that is a great point. That is a very great point to be made. Tommy Jean is saying, I want a sequel to It Follows. We're getting that, by the way. It's called They Follows. That is happening. Not a new Scream where they bring back old characters into the franchise. Army of Darkness and Skinamarink are the two worst movies I've ever seen. That is some crazy Army of Darkness hate. That's one of the most, that's like so fun. How can you hate Army of Darkness? Oh my God. It's just Bruce Campbell being a silly little guy. I love him. He makes me laugh. I understand the Skinamarink hate, but I also like that one. But I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo who likes floors and ceilings. I just love looking at them. I love when they're shot in scary ways. No, I love Skinamarink. It's fucking. That's another one that's weird as fuck, and I love it. If someone says Sydney lives, would that be considered a spoiler? I mean, who's not expecting her to survive? Says Villain Killin' Dylan. I just don't like when people come into the chat and they're like, I know spoilers for Scream 7, and I'm going to put them out here because I know spoilers for Scream 7 and I don't want to put those out there. So it makes me think if I know these things, some of you might as well. And to me, this is a safe space. I don't want to ruin a movie before a film even comes out. I mean, we're hardly 11 months away, right? It's not even 11 months. And there's things I already know about this one that I consider spoilery, and I'm actually seeing people online talking about them openly. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you think about it for 2 seconds, you can figure out how a bunch of these characters are not Ghostface, but some of them may be. And I don't know. There are things that I'm just not going to talk about here because I'm like, I see them talked about on other pages. That's fine. That's whatever. We're going to shut up about it though. Maybe Roman is alive in the scenes he filmed, meaning a flashback. You know, that could be it too, but it makes me question why he was, you know, he talks about seeing Nev. He's like, I got to see Nev. I got to see David again. I don't know. Maybe Sydney's in this scene too. That could be the case. I definitely see whatever this flashback scene being, if we're going to have a point to it, is that it's going to kind of rewrite history in a sense. Maybe not so much so to the point where it completely changes everything we know about it. I'm thinking it's going to be like a Halloween Kills thing, right? Halloween Kills, they have that flashback that extends the 1978 Halloween. You can still watch Halloween 1978 and think about Halloween Kills. It doesn't ruin the film by any means. But maybe they just have a scene that just tacks something else on that doesn't really affect any of the other films except for the one we're going to be watching in February of 2026. So maybe you could have Roman, maybe you could have Billy and Stu and David Arquette, you know, just everybody comes back for like a big opening scene flashback, which could be the case. But I will say the way that he was talking about it, Stella G, it really gives me vibes that, they're just doing like voices. They're just doing like voices for it. And maybe that's why they were hanging out with everybody. Because they're coming in, they're doing like a day's worth of voice work and that's it, you know? I hope that's not the case. I do hope it's more than that. I just, you know, and even though I'm so against a movie that is just chock full of cameo appearances, because I just feel like that's a waste of my time in terms of being a Scream fan. Maybe if you're going to do that in the new Ghostbusters movies, whatever, or the new Marvel movies, okay, sure. But in Scream has always just been a little more punk rock than doing what literally all the, you know, the big companies and stuff are doing to make money off of their movies. I just don't see that really working with this franchise. So I'm hoping that it's this tough thing that I'm trying to draw a line with, where if you're going to announce that these characters are going to be in this movie, I feel like it's cheap just to have them lending their voices, right? It's just like, why would you announce that Scott Foley is coming back to Scream 7, and then literally all he does is lend his voice to a few scenes? That feels cheap to me, doesn't it? Like, doesn't it feel like, I feel like I'm getting scammed here? You know what I mean? It doesn't actually feel like Roman's coming back. It just feels like Roman lended his voice to a single scene. And I think it's wild. It's this thing that it almost sounds like hypocritical, right? But I just legitimately want a film that's not trying to oversell itself. Why can't I say that? I want a film that doesn't want to do that. I want a film that they don't have to beg people to come to the theaters to see, because that just screams desperation. That screams that we don't necessarily have a good product, but we want to make money off of this. And that, I don't know how I feel about that. But again, maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Maybe this thing is fucking awesome, and that would be cool as fuck. Erica has gifted 5 KillJoy Jake memberships. I appreciate that a ton, my friend. Thank you, Erica. That is going to Nathaniel Fincher, The Supreme Coven, Carlo Giovanni, David Gibson, and Cheatwood Mac. I'm a fan of that last one. Cheatwood Mac. Very nice. What's up, Cheatwood Mac? And David Gibson and Carlo Giovanni and Supreme Coven and Nathaniel Fincher. Welcome in. Are you David Fincher's like brother? Father? I don't know, but I like that name a ton. What's up, my guys? Welcome to the fold. Just so you know, as a KillJoy Jake channel member, you get an extra stream every single Wednesday. They're kind of fun as fuck, let me tell you. If you think these are unhinged and the ramblings of a madman, oh, stop by on Wednesday, let me tell you. They're fun. But also, if you're an Art the Clown member, you get an extra video every single week too. And I'm still working on the one for this week. Apologies. I fell asleep because it's been a crazy week. I'm not even gonna be so transparent. Not even gonna try to lie to you. But that's coming out tomorrow. So review on Borderline for Art the Clown members coming tomorrow. So we're getting to it. But thank you for being here. Pirate X, I forgive you. It's all good. I love you, my friend. Yeah, but I don't think it's true. I just wanted to see what y'all thought. And listen, I respect that, Pirate X, and you seem like a cool fella. You seem like a cool fella. So we're chill. We're chill as fuck, man. I just always like to, I remember, so here's my thing, right? Story time with Jake. Everybody sit down. Let's do this. There was all these leaks for Scream 6, like a couple weeks before it came out. Everyone, like a bunch of people knew who the killers were. People would come into the streams and be like, this person's the killer. And I'd block them immediately. I'd be like, nope, not doing it. And now I'm all paranoid because I don't want anyone spoiling the movies. And shit's already coming out about Scream 7 now. And it is not, like I said, not even 11 months until this one comes out. Pirate X, I forgive you. We're all chill, bro. I even know, I'm going to be real. I know things. I know certain things that happen. Here's what I'm going to say without spoiling anything. I know about one of the characters. I know how one of the characters is going to die. I know who it's going to be. I know where it's going to be in the film. And I know that this person is not Ghostface. I have it confirmed, and I won't say how or why or what, and I'm never going to do a video about it until the movie comes out. But it's a kill that kind of makes me think, okay, so here's what we're doing with Ghostface. It gives me an idea of where we're going with it, and I don't want to talk about it. So because I don't, again, that's not why we do this. That's not why we're doing this, to spoil things, right? That's no fun. Why would you want to know everything about a movie before it comes out? And it's fun to pitch theories, right? It's fun to pitch theories and just pitch whatever kind of fiction that you want to throw out there. That's a blast. And that's why we do this, you know, but I just don't want to spoil the movies. Pirate X, you seem like a cool fellow though. Thanks for hanging out with us. Didn't mean to put you on blast. Did not mean to do that. But if I see people saying, oh, I know something about Scream 7, I'm just like, hang on now. What's up? But anyways, let's get past it. We're moving past it. VKD is saying, I was throwing knives at this tree, trying to stick them in the bark. But once I threw one and it bounced off, I tried to catch it and it impaled my palm. That is absolutely terrible. I'm so sorry about that. That sounds terrible. It sounds like something was spoiled for old Jake. Kinda. I asked for it. I was like, I was talking to a fellow who was a very kind person, whoever they are. And we were going back and forth about Scream stuff that we knew. And then I was like, oh, this thing happens. Then I'm like, oh, hey, this thing happens too. And then it was like, oh, well, that makes sense. I'm not going to elaborate any further. I'm done. We're off the topic, but it's not a big deal. Not the biggest deal. It hasn't ruined the movie for me. I definitely don't know everything, and that's what I'm That's what I'm still excited to see this one. You know what I mean? I'm honestly, the more I'm going to be real, you know, I've been so on the fence about Scream 7, and I have had, there's two things in my brain that I won't share with you guys. Two big things that I know about, and they have me, both of them have me excited for the film. I'll be honest, both of them are positive things that definitely have me a little more sold on this one, keeping me a little more optimistic, which I think is a little more fun. I'd rather be optimistic for a new Scream film rather than pessimistic. So so far I have faith in this one, despite all the weird shit. I'm not going to stop talking about all the weird shit because it's still there. And I think that there's a lot of people who don't want to talk about it or don't want to address that it's, you know, it is weird. But then no, there's weird shit going on with Scream 7. Makes me scratch my head a little bit. But there's two things that I'm aware of that is, that's cool. That's exciting. Anyways, Kyle Gordon is saying, I think if Damien takes Friday the 13th, would David make a good Jason? Kyle, you're going to hate this answer, but I don't think so. I love David Howard Thornton. Great actor. I would love to see him play a part in a Damien Leone Friday the 13th, but honestly, I don't know. I don't think he's Jason material. The only reason I say that is I kind of want like a bigger dude, you know, a little more like Kane Hodder has the perfect build for Jason. And I think if we're gonna do Jason, we got to get someone with like that same body type. You know what I mean? Which just it's just different. You know what I mean? It's nothing against David. David's an attractive man. I love him a bunch. I love him to pieces. He's awesome. I actually think it might be more fun to have David Howard Thornton actually have a speaking role in a Damien Leone picture. Which technically he does have a voice cameo in Terrifier 2, which is fun during the Clown Cafe. That is his voice over the loudspeaker, which is fun. But imagine David Howard Thornton as a camp counselor in Damien Leone's Friday the 13th. I mean, how cool would that be, dude? That's sick as fuck. I think that would be fun. Who would be a good modern Jason though? I'm really trying to think. I mean, I kind of like what they did with Kane. Kane Hodder was just like a stunt coordinator. You know what I mean? He was just like, that's what he was doing. And then they just threw him in those movies and he was Jason. And honestly, the same thing would be cool here. So am I streaming on Kick anymore, Kyle? I'm still figuring that out. I'm using a new software to stream. So I got to figure out how to dual stream on this software. It's a whole thing. It's a whole damn thing on here where it was a little more easier with the last program, but I can't use that other program anymore because they started charging me way too much money, like an unbelievable amount of money for something I can do for free. So it was one thing when it was like $100 a year. It's like, that's not that bad. Whatever. $100 a year. Pshaw. Whatever. But now StreamYard is asking for $400. So that is ridiculous for something that I can do for free. Like, sorry, dog. $100 was like, it's convenient. Sure. Whatever. That's ridiculous. And also, I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but we are streaming in a much higher quality. The streams have looked nicer ever since I've done it this way, and I'm not paying any money for it. So to me, it's like win-win. Win-win, wins all around. I love it. We love wins. Ty Lee, I'm so sorry, my friend. I don't think I've even said hi to you yet. Hello, Ty. Welcome in, you and your crazy bloody mask. I love it. How are you doing? DHT would be fun as like a Crispin Glover character. Yes. Oh my God. I mean, you know, his physical comedy is fantastic, right? So to do something along those lines, you're spot on with that. Oh my God. Absolutely. He's not a dead fuck, damn it. Come on. I love that. Oh my God. That would be fun. You'd have to have Lauren Lavera in there. You could have a bunch of the Terrifier gang hanging out. Maybe even some alumni from Friday the 13th as well. Because, you know, Damien has talked about what he would do with the Friday the 13th movie, and he's like, I'd set it in the 80s again. Like, why? I don't understand why movies, why the new ones wouldn't do that, you know? And I couldn't agree more with that. Yes, we should totally have Jason in the 80s. I think that just fits the vibe. If we could, you know, I enjoyed the 2009 Friday the 13th remake. Honest to God, it's one of my favorites in the whole series. Like, excellent movie. But it is kind of missing something without the 80s flair. I want the bad hair. I want the crazy costumes and shit. What is it? The Doublemint twins in part 4. That's what I want from a Friday film, man. I want the goofy cheesiness. I don't want just I mean, I want it to be a little scary and a little more modern, sure, but set it in the 80s, man. Make that happen. That'd be a ton of fun. So yes to all of that, Ty. I love it. I'd want to see his funny charming side. Yes. Oh yes. I'm sounding like I'm aroused by these comments. Maybe I am. Jake, speaking of Jason, Crystal Lake is coming out June 12th. I missed that announcement. I'm excited for Crystal Lake, man. I want to see whatever they got going on with that. I want a new Friday the 13th property. And honestly, they keep talking about what's going on with New Line with the movie rights, right? They keep talking about that. What my thoughts are on this is that if they get this Crystal Lake series out and it's successful, which hopefully it is, I think then they're going to be like, okay, let's figure out the movie rights and get this back up and make some more Friday movies. Even if they did that without Crystal Lake, it would make money. I'll tell you that right now. Like Jason and Freddy will just always be popular. Like those are two of the most recognizable killers in pop culture. I think if they just keep I don't understand why we're not getting Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street movies still to this day. Even if they were bad, they would make money. Dude, the Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 movie, like, do you guys think that's a bomb? It was not. It's one of the most profitable slashers of all time, and it's bad. Shit. Crazy numbers with that one, which is nuts. But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why they're not making more of those movies. It's nuts to me. But anyways, I wanted to do this Wednesday, but I can't during members only streams for whatever reason. I want to give away some membership as well, which I see Nathaniel Fincher thanking Erica for. Thank you, Nathaniel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member. Thanks for getting gifted that. We're going to gift 5 more members right now. Who's going to get it? Let's find out. I just clicked the button. Oh boy. All right, that's going to Talkin' Star Wars. Jason Dyer. Bobby with a bunch of spaces between the letters. I love it. Black Ops Cobra and King Chris. Welcome to the fold, everybody. And once again, just throwing this one out there, just throwing this little tidbit of information out there again. If you're a member of the page, you can sign up. You don't have to sign up for anything, actually. You can just show up for the Wednesday streams, members only streams. They're a ton of fun. They're chaotic. I like to spill the beans on some fun things happening behind the scenes, which is cool. So members only streams, they rock. Stop on by them. And they're a little more intimate. We have 81 people hanging out with us, and I appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you. But members only streams, we get to like every single comment. Like, I mean, am I wrong on this member? Like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think I get to like pretty much every single comment, and it's a ton of fun. It's like we're all hanging out. We're all sitting around a campfire, and we're chilling the fuck out. It's a great time. So stop on by the member streams. They're fun. They're a very good time, and I am starting a Discord that members will be able to join very soon. We're actually getting on that this weekend, so I know a lot of people have been a lot of people have been asking about that. And Jacob Wells is even asking, how do I become a member? All you got to do is there's a join button on the page. You just hit the join button. So that's it. You just hit a little button. It's fun. My Chunky Jordy, thank you for the 2 as well. Throwing some hearts out there and some dog paws. I appreciate that. Love that a ton. I love me some dogs. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you for the 2. And Madison is joining us too, saying, just got done cutting my sister's hair. Brittany's making you cut her hair now. Brittany, be nice to Madison. She's having a tough week. I love you, my friend, my girlfriend. Why did I say friend? I love you, Madison. I hope that you're doing okay. Come on by. Come on by when you're done. The chat misses you out there. They want to hear your screams like how they did on the gaming streams on the other channel. But stop on by. I miss you too. You've abandoned me this week. I can't wait to see it. No, I'm kidding. Gina's throwing 5 in there as well, saying I did the wrong color. That's okay. It's all good. I appreciate the support. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate that a ton. We're at 4 out of 10, baby. We're almost halfway there. I love it. Thank you for the 5, Gina. Appreciate that a ton. Apollo Balboa 1985. I love that name. Why would Leslie Mocker be introduced if not for a major role in the future? Point taken. I hit my mic there. Point taken. But my thoughts on this is that it was just kind of like a name drop in Scream 5 to again have some sort of connection to the past. And I get, maybe you guys disagree with me, and I know a lot of you do. I just feel like if we were to tell an isolated story in the Scream universe, it would be all the better for it. We could do a lot cleaner things, a lot of things where I'm not scratching my head and being like, what? What do you mean that happened? Like, I don't even understand why that's a part of Scream 5, if I got to be honest with you. It's one of those things where I'm just like, why does this person, this first person who got killed here, why do they even need to be connected to the past in some shape or form? Why can't Ghostface just be the psychopath who wanted to kill this person outside of a bar, who was, outside of the friend group, who was connected to it somehow? I think you could have just said, we're kill, and actually it works with Richie and Amber if you think about it, right? So let's say that Kyle Gallner's character in Scream 5, right? He's just hitting on Liv. That's it. That's the extent of his character. He's just hitting on one of the characters in the friend group, and Richie and Amber go and kill him. I think it was probably Amber in that scene, right? That still works because the whole goal is that they want to have all these different kills in a movie that Hollywood is going to pick up and make a movie about. That still works. No matter who they kill in Scream 5, it would have worked whether it was connected to the past or not. It's just like, it's one of those things where I'm scratching my head where I'm like, what? As I watch Scream 5 more and more and more, the more I dislike it. And that's actually one of the things that I remember thinking when I was watching it the last time. Because they bring that up and I'm just like, you didn't need that though. Stu didn't need a sister. We didn't need to explain that kill. It still works, but crazy stuff. But again, if they want to go somewhere with that, it is a crazy Easter egg, to have that little throwaway conversation in Scream 5 actually go somewhere and build an entire film. This is not a first for a long ongoing franchise. They've done that in a lot of different series, is just take a sentence or just a little piece of a book, for instance, right, and adapt that into a whole movie. I mean, I'm super excited for the new Lord of the Rings film that we're getting very soon here, which is only based on a very, very, very small part of, I believe, the Fellowship of the Ring, if I'm not mistaken, the first Tolkien book, or, well, you know what I mean, the first Lord of the Rings in that series, technically. And this whole movie is just about the quest for Gollum, which is literally just a very small section of that book, and we're making a whole movie about it. Just like how we made 3 movies off of The Hobbit, which is like, is that only like, it's not even that many pages. How many pages is The Hobbit? Hang on now. I'm looking this up. I don't care. I need to know. I need to know. It's like, is it 60? No way is it 60 pages. That's wrong. That's wrong. There's no way. I read this in high school. I should know the answers. It's 300 pages long. They made 3 movies out of that, ladies and gentlemen. So can I really even complain if they're going to make an entire twist based off of a throwaway line in Scream 5? Not really, but I think it would be more interesting if the creatives just had full control over it, opposed to trying to shoehorn something from the past into a new story. I guess that's just my weird little opinion, though. We'll see how it goes in the new one. Pirate X is saying, do you think there will be more Halloween movies in like the new timeline? Probably not. I don't think so. I do think we're going to get another Halloween movie at some point. Let's be real. They said the same thing after Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 came out. They're like, well, that's the end of the series. That movie sucked. They said the same things in 2023 when Halloween Ends came out. Not everybody, but most people. I think we're definitely getting they're going to do a Michael Myers reboot in a couple of years, probably. Maybe like 6-7 years, maybe even less than that. And we'll see him back on screen again. I'm sure of it. I'm excited for the Miramax TV show that is currently in development. Not a ton of updates on that. Not a whole lot of movement, which is a shame. But hey, we do have the Alien show coming to FX real soon here. So there's that. I want to cover the fuck out of that too. That sounds fun to me. So at least there's that. The Jason from 2009 is a perfect fit. Derek Mears would be great for Damien Leone's Friday the 13th. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe he'll come back. I actually spoke with Derek Mears last October, and I asked him, I'm like, would you come back as Jason? He's like, yeah. Fuck yeah, I would. He didn't say that, but he said yes. He absolutely would love to play Jason again. And he's so full of energy. If you ever get to meet Derek Mears do it, like if there's any celebrity you should meet, it's him. He was one of the nicest guys I have ever met in my life, and not just celebrities. I mean, he was genuinely, Derek Mears was more interested in talking to our group of friends than we were with him. And that is maybe the greatest compliment I can give to a celebrity. He is just the sweetest man, and I would be friends with him. Even if he wasn't Jason Voorhees, I'd be like, I want to be friends with this gigantic bald man. He is so kind. I love him. I love Derek. I hope nothing but good things happen to him. He's amazing. And he's so good as Jason. He has a totally different take on the character. I love it. I could talk about Derek Mears all day. What is college like? I'm going at the end of summer and I'm shaking in my boots. Oh, Billy boy, I was the same way when I got out of my when I got out of my senior year of high school, because like senior year of high school is so cozy. I didn't have to do shit. I took like literally no classes because I got all my shit done in the first 3 years of high school. My high school was set up weird. I've talked about this to other people before, and they're like, that was not the situation that I had. My high school was set up like a college, weirdly enough, where it was like, if you get all your credits done in the first 3 years, you could have a super easy final year. And that's literally what I did. I took all the hard classes in my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And I set myself up for like literally a nothing year in my senior year. I had to take like only 3 of the core classes. I don't even think I had a history. Yeah, I did. I didn't have a history class in my senior year of high school. Like I didn't. I think I had a like a language arts, which was like so chill. I was basically friends with the teacher. Did I even have I don't even think I had a math. Oh my God. Wow. Holy crap. All these memories are flooding back to me. But point being, don't be afraid of college. It's even more fun than high school is, and I think it's easier in a weird way. I think it makes more sense, at least in my mind. I had a really good time in college, so you will enjoy it. I only dropped out because they forced everybody to do online school in 2020, and I was like, fuck this. I can't do this. And you know what? The YouTube channel's doing pretty well right now. I had a unique situation. Go to college, kids. Go to college. Seek an education. Don't be dumb like KillJoy Jake and pretend like you're a YouTuber, okay? Go to college. Get a degree. Just do it. Just 2 years, you can have an associate's degree, and then you can get a job with that. People will tell you you can't, but you can. Go to college, seek a higher education. It's very important. Do it. Do it. My almost 2 years of high school. My almost 2 years of college has served me very well. I made a lot of great friends, and I learned a lot of very valuable things. So definitely go to college if you can. Don't let anyone tell you that college is a bunch of bullshit. It's not. Anyways, Scott Royston is saying rumors are spreading like that Jamie Lee Curtis is in talks to appear in either the TV series of Halloween or another film. I've been hearing that too, Scott. I'm just kind of like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good on Jamie Lee Curtis coming back. I love her. She's great. But I just feel like that we keep trying to do the Laurie Strode story, and it just keeps not working. So to me, it's like, we got to do something else. Again, Einstein's definition of insanity: you keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Come on now, try something else with Halloween. Set it in the 70s. Set it in the late 70s, and just give me a new Michael Myers story. That's what I would do, personally. Just Michael Myers, instead of confronting a bunch of babysitters in Haddonfield, maybe he was fucking with some other people. I mean, something as simple as that, the fans would lose their minds over. I feel like we keep trying to make big stories out of franchises that really aren't that big of stories. I don't think we ever needed like a grandiose Halloween story. Genuinely, I don't. I think it would have been way more fun if it was just Michael Myers is this kid in this gigantic invincible slasher's body who wants to kill people. This unstoppable evil. Just keep him that. Just keep him as the boogeyman. We don't have to explain who Michael is. We don't have to have some overarching protagonist across multiple movies try to stop him. Just give me Michael in the 70s. Give me the nostalgic tone of that time period again, just like the original flick, and just have Michael killing a bunch of people in that time period. That could be fun. Way easier to set a slasher in 1978 than it is in 2025 anyways, so... Why am I hiccuping? That makes no sense. As I say as I'm drinking a soft drink. But it's crazy. Crazy out on these streets. Laney is saying, I have been to college, but it wasn't degrees I got certs for the courses I completed, and the grade I got is that's okay. That's okay. College is just an important experience because you get exposed to a lot of different just kinds of people, all that you might not have been able to interact with before. I think, I personally have been very grateful to venture outside of my own hometown and, meet different just different kinds of people, like just from not my own state. You know what I mean? I think that's so important to get an idea of just What's the rest of the world like? I think that's so important to literally every individual, and college is a great way to do that because you can meet so many different kinds of people from so many different cultures and backgrounds, whatever, and just have a good time doing it. You know, I think it's really important that more people do that, especially seeking a higher education too is very important. Don't get me wrong. But I learned so much about just people and how the world works from going to college, and I thought that was that was, I think, that maybe the most valuable part of it, even to me. I'd much rather be dumb and be a millionaire like you as a YouTuber. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even close. Than instead of going back to college. College is not for everyone. I am not a millionaire. I am barely scraping by, let me tell you. But it's fun. I love barely scraping by. I think when my back is against the wall, that's when I'm the most that's when I tend to get the most shit done. So that's kind of why I like doing all this. But no, I am that is a common misconception. Not all, the majority of YouTubers are not even close to millionaires. I'm struggling on these streets, but we're making it happen. So that is very funny. I'm flattered. Let me tell you, I'm completely flattered, but yes. College isn't for everyone, but I recommend going if you're in a position to. I should say that too. Ghostface is saying, I think Ice 9 Kills should be on the Scream 7 soundtrack. I loved the song that they did for Terrifier. That was fun. Their song Your Numbers Up is about Scream. Oh, I don't think I've heard that one. They would be dumb if they didn't add the song to at least the credits. Then they're dummies, says Ghostface. I really loved that Ice 9 Kills was involved with Terrifier 3. I think that they're such a great staple of the horror community. You know, they don't just have horror music. They actively participate in a lot of horror events, which I just think is so cool. And again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't even care if you're making horror content or not, whatever. If you're just like involved in the community, you're so welcome. Like there are so many great people like that I see at conventions every single time I go. I see faces that are so familiar every single time I go now, and it's wonderful. I love it. I love all the different people who are a part of the community, whether that's someone with a platform or not. It doesn't matter. I literally see some of the same people every single time I go. My friend Eric, who is unbelievably fun, such a great guy, the Bearded Entertainment. Some of you know him, and you might recognize him as well from the opening scene of Chicken Man. I killed him. I smashed his head in. It was a ton of fun. He's a great guy. He's so kind, and he goes to like as many cons as he possibly can. And we always dress up. He always dresses up as Rob Zombie Halloween Michael Myers, which is cool. I'm always just in a goddamn t-shirt. But someday I'm going to a con and I'm cosplaying. I have a Ghostface robe. Like I don't know why I haven't brought it. I'm like, man, been to all these conventions and I just haven't dressed up as Ghostface. One of these times I'm doing it. But for those who don't know, I am going to is it Newport, Kentucky? It's Newport, Kentucky. It's right out of Cincinnati, Ohio, this July for GullGotha. So if you guys want to come stop by, say hey. I'm going to be talking on multiple panels during that convention this year, which is going to be fun. I'm going to be joined by Brandon from I Like Scary, great friend of mine. He's an awesome dude. Love talking with him about horror. So we're going to be talking about building horror YouTube channels, and I think we have some sort of other panel where we're just talking bullshit horror, whatever. And it's going to be a ton of fun. So stop on by that if you can, if you're in the area. It would be a lot of fun to meet you guys. So much. I know that some people I know in the chat who are with us today has actually said that they're able to make it. But stop on by if you can. I want to meet as many people as I possibly can. The last two conventions that I went to were just so much fun. I ran into so many really cool people. So stop on by. Have some fun times. KillJoy Jake. It'll be sick. Ty Lee is saying if Jake were a millionaire, he would be making awesome movies. I would put so much money into just funding movie projects. I'm dead serious. I would put money into other things too, but I would 20% of that $1 million would absolutely go towards funding a bunch of really fun little low budget movies. I would do that in a heartbeat if I had that kind of money. I mean, come on, you know what I mean? I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand being a billionaire. I will literally never understand that ever. If I had all that money, I would spend it on cool things for the entire world. I don't need that money. I don't need $1 billion. Fuck that shit. Hoarding wealth is terrible. Anyone who does that sucks balls. Put it towards things. Put it, the world needs money to make things better, especially right now. Start doing that, people. If you have money, if you have disposable income, put that towards helping people, for God's sake. Jesus. And of course, making cool movies too, because we need entertainment. What's the point of life if we don't have entertainment? But that's a great point, Ty. This is so true. Erica's saying, unfortunately, we didn't hit the goal, but you know what? I'm feeling generous tonight, Erica, and I think we're going to keep talking because I just love talking with you guys so much. We're having far too much time. What? Far too much time? We're having far too much fun, damn it. I see Paula bringing up Teddy Swims. I love that. I love Teddy Swims. Madison and I are fans of Teddy Swims. I love that. Hybrid Gamer is saying getting in late on the live stream, but I wanted to know, since Scream wrapped, when do you expect a trailer? That's when things really get wild. You're damn right. I love the tongue out emoji too. That gets me all excited. No, but yeah, when are we getting a trailer? Honestly, probably not until December, which sucks, right? No one wants to hear that. I want a trailer today, damn it. I agree. I agree with myself, the statement that I just made. But no, I don't see us getting a trailer until like December, probably. Maybe November, maybe November, maybe even like Halloween time. I can't imagine it comes any earlier than that, and that's already early. They're not going to market this one like they will like a 28 years later, right? I don't think so. Scream is a very popular franchise, don't get me wrong. But they're going to market it probably like they did with the last few movies, which makes sense to me. 3 months before, where we get the first trailer, the first look at what this looks like, and then probably some other things along the way. I hope that they don't change a damn thing about how they marketed Screams 5 and 6. Say what you will about those movies, shit on them all you want. I know some people absolutely despise them, but they were marketed so well. Oh my, some of the best marketing campaigns I have covered on this page. And I'm not just saying this because I love Scream. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, these are some of the best marketing campaigns I've covered. They were so intricate and weird. And I loved that. They had a TikTok account. Like they paid someone to like basically have their own TikTok account pretending to be someone in Woodsboro. Not, what was it? Too Brash Sarah, I think it was called. And they pretended to have to be this teenager in Woodsboro and cover all the murders happening. And we actually got a taste of what the third act was going to look like in Scream 5. She goes to the party on one of her TikToks. That was so cool and fun. It was kind of making Scream an ARG, man. Loved shit like that. They were doing the same stuff for Scream 6. I remember they had like all these like videos pop up of like Ghostface was just appearing all around the country on these like security cams. That was so cool. I don't know. There's so much cool shit with the marketing with both of those movies. I think we need that same energy for Scream 7 for sure. Ray is saying cries in Canadian. That's so funny. I'm so sorry, my friend. I'll get up to Canada at some point. I promise. I've always wanted to go, actually. I've always wanted to go to Canada. Lainey is saying, I wonder if they will update Scream 6, the Scream 6 soundtrack with Demi Lovato still alive and Mike Shinoda in my head, as I love those songs, or if there will be Scream 7 soundtrack and put the songs on it. I think that they'll probably do a new soundtrack for Scream 7. I don't think it's going to be the same thing. Again, another reason I'm saying this is I just feel like they're going for a totally different vibe with 7, where 6 was a little more modern. And that was fun. I liked that about 6. 7 is going for a little more of a traditional throwback feel, which I don't mind. That's one of the biggest positives I have to say about Scream 7. So I could totally see a bunch of like late 90s artists. Well, I guess Mike Shinoda is, Linkin Park. Come on there. That was super popular at the time. Mike Shinoda totally works for Scream. I like that. That's a good song too. In my head was sick. But for Scream 7, I could totally see some like throwback artists throwing some new tunes on there. Okay, here's a weird thought. There's a Creed song. Okay, back up. Hang on. All the way back up. Hear me out on this one, right? Scream 3 has the best soundtrack of any of the Scream movies. I think we can all agree on that. Maybe not, but that's like an opinion I don't think I'm gonna change a stance on, because dude, Scream 3 is a bang. If I was on an island by myself with only one movie soundtrack for the rest of my life, it's Scream 3, dude. So many good songs. Static X is on there. Creed is on there. There's more that I can't think of. What If Creed? Thank you, Child's Play fan. You're goddamn right that song's on there. What If? Love that tune. So good. They should have that's what they should do for Scream 7. Put a Creed song on there, put a Static X song on there, put a bunch of weird like late 90s, early 2000s stuff on there. Get a Smash Mouth tune on there. Why the fuck not? You want to go for that traditional feel? That's what you do. That's what you do, baby. Come on now. That's what I'm looking for. But I'm very passionate about 90s music. Nothing gets me going. Nothing gets my... I'm not going to say that. Sweet and Saucy is saying, I started watching The Substance, did not like it. My girlfriend absolutely hated it, Sweet and Saucy. She was not a fan at all. I will say my sister told me, she's like, as a woman, that movie was a lot for me. And I'm like, I understand that. That movie is a lot. I got you on that one. So it's not for everybody. I totally understand. I loved it. And I'm not just because I like gross stuff. I like gross stuff, but it's more than that. It's a very poignant movie. It is a scream in the form of a film. That was some sort of review I read on it, and I'm like, I couldn't agree more about that. It's one of the best movies that uses commentary that's just in your face, and it works so well. And I don't know. I just have so much respect for the craft of making something like that. The Substance is just so excellent. I don't know. I haven't been that blown away by a film in a very long time. If I had to, one day I want to make a film covering the top 10 movies that I've covered in my 5, almost 6 years of doing this. And The Substance will be on that top 10, like without a doubt. Without a doubt in my mind. I don't know where I would rank it as of right now. Would it be number 1? Scratching my head on that one. Because there's a lot of movies I've covered, but it's on the top 10 list without a doubt. It's just, fuck. How do you make a movie like that? I don't know. It is so good. Derek is saying Scream 3 soundtrack is goated. I could not agree more. That is my favorite soundtrack of the series, without a doubt. Any news on the Black Phone 2? It's coming out this October, Hayden. We actually, we had something recently, and I'm trying to remember. Scott Derrickson was talking a bit about it in terms of what he wanted from like kind of getting into his head about how he wanted to approach a sequel. I think he actually addressed the fact that the first one is, based off of a short story, and now we're kind of doing our own thing with the sequel. We're moving on where we're telling a different story here. And it definitely it made me feel a little more confident in the Black Phone 2. Because again, I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember everything he said, but I do remember him talking about it and saying, "I know it's it's weird, right? Because of how how the last one wrapped up." But he's like, "We have an interesting idea of where we're going with it, and we're trying something out here." Is basically what it is. And I'm staying open minded with the Black Phone 2. I remember getting the news that they're doing Black Phone 2, and I'm like, what? How can you do a sequel to that after how the first one wrapped up? I just don't know if that works. But ghosts are such a evident thing in the Black Phone. I could see that potentially being where we go with it next. It's going to be even more supernatural than the first one was. I got to watch that movie again. Man, it's been a minute since I've watched the Black Phone. I only saw that one twice. I saw it in theaters, and I was like, I saw an early screening of it, and I didn't hate it, but I wasn't like over the moon about it like everybody else. I was like, there was just some things about that just some nitpicks here and there. The first act, I don't love about that movie. Everything else, fantastic. The moment we get to the basement and onward, I have no complaints. It's excellent. First act, there's some things where I'm like, that's weird. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It feels like the movie was cut down. If I had to guess, there's just some choppiness about the pacing in the first act, in my opinion. But Black Phone, it is some of the most terrifying shit I've seen in a recent horror movie. That's a scary one. John Best is saying, I saw Cold Chambers, Static X, and Seven Dust back in '98 at the same show. John Best, I'm so jealous. I would do anything to see Static X, the original lineup. Rest in peace, Wayne, of course. But I have missed Static X so many times. It's not even funny. They were touring with a new singer recently because they had a double album release in the last, I think there was one that came out in 2020 and 2024. Some good stuff on there too. It's the last performance from Wayne Static, if I'm not mistaken. And they were touring all that time period. I actually had tickets to one of the shows, couldn't make it. I was going to get tickets to another show, couldn't make it for a totally different reason. And it's a bummer. It is a major bummer, John. I love Static X is one of my favorite bands. I love them. I love industrial metals so much. I love Cold Chamber too and Seven Dust. But Static X, there's just something about that their sound that just does it for me. So I would love to see them one day. Maybe one day. One day we'll see it, but I'm jealous of you, John. Let me tell you, I'm jealous. All right. How have you been lately, Jake? RBR Short Films 13, I should say, asks. I'm fantastic. I'm good. It's the end of the week. I'm ready to get some chilling in. Some vibing out, energy out here. I'm ready to lay down for the first time this week. I really am. But I'm good. How are you? How are you doing, my friend? Thank you for being here. Sweet and Saucy wants to see Clown in a Cornfield. I'm excited for that one too. It's a new slasher. It's going to be fun. It's coming out in just a few months here. May is going to be a huge month for horror. Let me tell you, we got a lot of big releases coming out soon here. So I can't wait. That movie's coming out. Final Destination 6 is coming out. What else is coming out? Bunch of stuff. Oh my God. So many movies. That new Jenna Ortega movie, it kind of looks good. There's a couple of those though, aren't there? She's doing a movie with The Weeknd, and I just saw the first trailer for it. Going to see Opus last night, and it looks good. Like you talk about it's The Weeknd's horror movie essentially, right? So it's like kind of makes you what's this all gonna be about? Kind of looks good. I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually quite excited for it. Looks like a weird psychological horror flick. I think we have David Cronenberg's new movie coming out in April. The next 2 months, man. Oh my God, a lot of good stuff coming out. It's going to be busy. It's going to be real busy moving up here. I'm taking it easy the next week or so with YouTube because I'm preparing. I'm mentally preparing for how crazy it's going to get, considering how many releases we got, and I'm so excited. Oh my God, a lot of good stuff on the horizon here. Scott Royston is saying, don't forget live action Snow White comes out this Thursday. Wait, is that out? Is that out now or is that next week? I thought that was next. I think you're saying it's next week. I think so, right? Yeah, March 21st. Right. Because I just read something about that. Again, live action Disney, I don't know if I'm all that excited for, but hey, maybe that one rocks. I hope it does. I root for every movie that goes to theaters that are made by human beings, that is. Gory Tiger saw Static X, the original lineup. You guys are so cool, and I am just such a dork. I'm so jealous. I wish I were all of you. Child's Play fan is saying, don't think many people care about Snow White at this point. I've seen a lot of hate for it, let me tell you. John Best is saying, Erica Kurt Cobain is my favorite musician by far. I love that. You had tickets to Nirvana Unplugged because my friend's father worked at the theater. They were playing at but got grounded. Dude, that's such a bummer. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. That's a show I would love to see. That's an incredible performance. I've heard that far too many times. Love it though. My Chunky Jordy is saying the book To Clown in the Cornfield sounds great. Gory B did a review, so really looking forward to the film. And apparently there's 4 books. Yes, there's a new one coming out, if I'm not mistaken. How is Gory B movie doing? I haven't thought about her in a very long time. We have not talked in a minute. I hope she's doing well. I was on her channel a very long time ago with Drum Dums. Interestingly enough, I believe that's the last time we all spoke. I miss all those fellas though. They're very nice people. Very fun to talk horror with, let me tell you. Derek is saying Jenna Ortega and Taylor Russell are in talks to star in a single white female remake. I heard about this. Wonder which one will be the crazy roommate. This is another one I have not seen. I have not seen that one before. So I got to watch it. There's so many, we're finally getting to a point where weirder movies are getting remakes in the modern day, which is really exciting. Cause I've always felt like, I feel like remakes bring attention to these older classics, if nothing else. Even if they suck, they do shed a light on these older movies, and that's why I'm always going to be pro remake, pro reboot, whatever. Because at the very least, you're going to get a bunch of people to go check out some old movie that probably rocks, that probably has a fan base surrounding it. And we're finally starting to get a few more weirder movies getting remakes. It's not just the popular ones. where in some cases they don't really need more continuations. So that's exciting. I'm actually really happy. That makes me happy that something like that is getting some sort of remake continuation. Khalifa Al Khalifa is saying, "Hi Jake, when can Scream 7 trailer on which month?" I'm guessing that the Scream 7 trailer is coming out in December. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be a little while. Because let's say, they just wrapped this week. We got to go through post-production, which is a lot. It's not just editing the movie and, I mean, getting all the technical stuff going. There's so much other shit that has to happen. Like, let's say they get through like a rough cut edit and they're like, well, a bunch of this shit doesn't look good. Let's reshoot it. That's when reshoots happen, which, principal photography may be over, but there's still a lot to be done. We got to do some reshoots. I mean, even for Chicken Man, for instance, I was balancing making an entire short film and running this channel all at the same time. It took us from start to finish, starting to write the script to having a finished edited product was September of 2023 to January of this year to 2025. That's how long it took us just for that 10-minute short film. Imagine, and that's, admittedly, there was only like 4 people on post-production in terms of Chicken Man. There's a lot more people working on Scream 7, but it's still a lot. It's a big movie. It's probably, I mean, if I had to guess, it's probably going to be close to a 2-hour runtime over under, right? And they have to compose an entire score with an entire symphony and shit. There's a lot to it. There's going to be a lot to post-production with this one, which is going to take some time, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And then after that, that we got to get a marketing campaign together. We got to, cut some trailers. There's a whole marketing team now. That's an entire process in and of itself. I don't really know too much about all that, admittedly. But it's a lot. It's a lot that has to be done. So we probably won't see a Scream 7 trailer until well after there's a finished product, which will likely only be like 3 months before the film actually releases. Because you also don't want to put out a trailer too early and have people just completely forget too, because you don't want that to happen. But yes, Scream 7 trailer, probably towards the end of the year, if I had to guess. Perry Moberg is saying, I might watch VHS Beyond tonight. I've never seen it. Dude! Oh, man, okay. Perry, listen, we're talking about the 7th VHS movie. I was going into it with some pretty low expectations. I love the last, the 94, 99, 85 run. Those movies are a ton of fun to me. I'm really enjoying the VHS revival a ton. It's one of my favorite things I've been covering on the page in the last couple of years or so. But VHS, so when VHS Beyond gets announced, they were talking about it like, we're jumping the shark, we're going to space. And I'm like, okay, 94, 99, and 85 were an excellent return. And they're doing this one as maybe like a bit of a, last-ditch effort, whatever. They announced the director's list too, and it was people who I'm a fan of, but just maybe not, like Justin Long, for instance, was one of the directors. He's not a director, you know what I mean? He doesn't direct things typically. But here he is doing a short here that actually is really weird and really fun. Beyond was a huge surprise, in my opinion, because again, I was going into it thinking this is going to be the Jump of the Shark VHS movie. I'm going to be completely honest. This is one of the only VHS films where I like every single segment, which might be a hot take. Some people, most VHS, going into a VHS movie, I always expect there to be a lot of misses, or like misses and hits. Typically, not a lot of misses. Just that's typically how these movies roll. VHS Beyond, I loved every single thing, like everything, even the wraparound. I was having a great time with it. So I don't know. I love VHS Beyond, man. There's one segment that I think you won't like that most people don't, but I do because I'm a weirdo. But man, majority of them are fantastic. I think there's actually 2 in there that are arguably some of the best from the entire franchise, without a doubt. So Perry, give that one a watch. If you like that franchise, you're going to love VHS Beyond. Ton of fun. Oh, Sweet and Saucy. That's a great question. Jake, what's your favorite Stephen King movie? Oh my God, there's so many good. That's like an impossible question to answer because there really is so many good ones. I love the Pet Sematary story. I don't know if I would call that my favorite Stephen King movie, but I love that movie. I love the story of Pet Sematary. It's one that's resonated, I should say, with me since I was very young. It scared me because, the kid dies. And I don't think I had seen a horror movie at that point where the kid died. I was a little kid myself when I saw that one for the first time. And I'm like, what? Kids can die in horror? That's what was going through my mind. And I'm like, oh no. Oh shit. So I remember that one really affecting me. And just the image of the red truck going and hitting that. That's something that's stuck with me for the longest time. And I don't know, that's the idea of constantly trying to bring back your family and they come back wrong, they come back evil, is something that's just such a cool idea in my opinion. I love Pet Sematary. That's one of my favorite Stephen King stories, like without a doubt. And I'm really excited to see Bringer back from the Filippo brothers, the Talk to Me guys, for clarification there. It sounds like they're hitting on something very different. In that same ballpark, the same idea of burying your dead and they come back to life in whatever, some sort of magical field, and they come back to life and here they are, but they're different, they're evil now. There's a lot to be said about that. It's a meditation on grief in a lot of ways that didn't feel like it had been done a million times when that movie came out, right? Because ever since Hereditary comes out, there's been a movie every single year that's like, it's a meditation on grief. It's a meditation on grief, meditation on grief, meditation on grief. And you're like, dude, okay, do something else. We get it. Death sucks in any capacity, but we have played that card, man, a lot, especially in the last couple of years. So I'm really excited to see what they do with a Pet Sematary style concept in a brand new movie, maybe even something that feels a little modern and way better than the Pet Sematary remake, let me tell you. Ty Lee's throwing a really good one out there, though. 1408 has to be the most underrated from movie adaptions of King's work, like without a doubt in my mind. 1408 is terrifying, and I think it's a top 10 Stephen King movie of all time, like without a doubt. I love 1408. I got it on the shelf. That is a horrifying movie, great concept, claustrophobic as fuck, and just a very emotional story that I love to death. Crazy underrated. If you guys have not seen that one, it's so good. I believe Madison is here because I just heard the doorbell go off. Did she text me? If she's bringing stuff in right now, I feel so bad. Oh man, I might have to go because she always brings all of her stuff in, and I always try to help her. So I am going to sign off, ladies and gentlemen, but this has been so much fun. And I really do appreciate you guys a ton for hanging out with me tonight. So stop on by next week. We're going to be once again talking I think we're going to start doing more general streams. When Scream 7 was in production, I was trying to do like Scream focused streams, but I think we're going to do like just general talk on Monday. And then on Friday, we're going to start our countdown for Final Destination Bloodlines. The first of 8 streams counting these bad boys down. They're going to be a lot of fun, just like the Terrifier 3 countdown streams we were doing last year. So stop on by for that next Friday. Going to be a ton of fun. Can't wait for Final Destination. And if you're excited for it too, we'll stop on by and pitch your crazy theories and maybe your crazy death idea too. So thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. So happy that Scream 7 is wrapped. I can't wait to see this one in February. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.